Notre Dame and Ohio State have two of the most fascinating quarterback battles this fall. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to The Reef with Jack Reefer, and I got another banger video for you guys today. But first off, like, comment, subscribe. Let's be special, baby. Let's be special. So, Notre Dame and Ohio State, two teams that were in the college football playoffs last year, both have quarterback battles this year. Which this isn't a bad thing at all. Because you go the past four national championship winners. You got Tua coming off the bench as a true freshman, not much experience, true freshman. Trevor Lawrence winning as a true freshman. Joe Burrow winning his second year in the program, first year with Joe Brady though. And then you got first year starter Mac Jones. So my point in all of this is, excluding Joe Burrow, Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, and Tua were all first-year starters. Well, Tua wasn't really the starter, but it was kind of his first year though. So they were all first-year starters. So these programs shouldn't shy away from starting the more talented freshmen in terms of ability. If they've got it, they've got it. We shouldn't be afraid to start these young quarterbacks, all these camps, the 7-on-7 drills. Look at the NFL. Young quarterbacks are doing better than they ever have. Passing percentages in the NFL, what it takes to be a Hall of Famer is going up every year in terms of completion percentage. And how does that relate back to college? Well, it just shows you that these college kids are coming better prepared out of college. And they're coming into college from high school better prepared. So, it's a different... The quarterbacks now are living in a different world than we did even in the mid-2000s. The time to start the young kid and see what they got is now. And if you start them and they don't have it and they're not winning right away, it might be time to replace them. Start replacing them with the next recruiting class. So let's dive into these battles. So Notre Dame has a four-way battle, probably more like a three, honestly, but it's a four-way battle technically, between 2024 star Drew Pyne, 2019 three-star Brendon Clark, 2021 four-star Tyler Buchner, and Wisconsin transfer Jack Coan. So I went back and watched some film, and Tyler Buchner is personally my favorite, as he's a highly rated recruit, 4 stars. My only kind of big knock on him is he doesn't have much experience in terms of game. He's done the camps, the 7-on-7s and stuff, but in terms of actual game time, he hasn't played football a whole lot because he played 1 year varsity in high school. So his sophomore year, he was the starting quarterback, played varsity, did very well, earned a high athletic rating, did well, earned 4 stars. Early in his sophomore year, he tore his ACL, so that was early in his junior year. He played his sophomore year, starter in varsity. Early in his junior year, tore his ACL and missed that season. And then his senior season, he's from California, so California opted to play their season last spring instead of the fall. And he said, nah, I'm going to leave high school early and go to Notre Dame. So he didn't play last year. So essentially, he's played 1 year of varsity football, but he's a 4-star recruit, and he was pretty electric in the spring game. If you go back and watch it, he was making throws, taking shots, running around, and I think athletically, he's probably the most gifted of the 4 quarterbacks. Now, Drew Pyne might be the best thrower of the bunch right now. He's a 4-star recruit, and he's got potential. Interesting fact about him, he committed to Notre Dame after his freshman year of high school. So he's got potential. He's been in the program. And then you got the interesting case of Jack Coan. So he led Wisconsin to the 2019 Rose Bowl, but he's more of a game manager, kind of a Alex Smith. Less of a Patrick Mahomes, more of an Alex Smith, which, it's not a bad thing, but he's just not super dynamic. And if you want to win a national championship like Notre Dame does, you need a dynamic quarterback who's going to be drafted in the first round of the NFL. And Jack Coan's just not that guy. I'm sorry. Go back to just how I listed the past 4 national championship winning quarterbacks. All been taken in the first round of the NFL draft. Now, He didn't look the best in the spring game, but he's a known factor, and you know what you're getting with him. And there's also the argument that Brian Kelly wouldn't recruit him there, and he probably made some commitment to him to get him to come there. He's probably going to be the starter. I don't agree with it. I just think he's a known factor. He's just not as athletic as you'd like, and you need a first, maybe you can get away with a second round NFL draft pick quarterback, and Jack Coan's not that. But once again, I don't know why they would have brought him to Notre Dame if they didn't intend to start him. So the winner coming out of fall camp, I think it's going to be Jack Coan. I would go with Tyler Buchner. Take a chance on the kid. If he's electric, it's a home run. You look great. And if he flounders, all right, well then you can pull him, and then you can put in the known factor, Jack Coan, and see what he does. But like I said in the beginning, young quarterbacks are getting better and better, and don't be scared to play the young kid if you want to win a national championship. So I would take him. I'd take Tyler Buchner in that battle, but Jack Coan's probably going to be the starter. We'll find out. Now, Ohio State, they were in the playoffs, in the national championship, unfortunately lost to Alabama, but they're losing their star quarterback, Justin Fields. Now, they've got a fascinating quarterback battle. It was really interesting this summer. I mean, last spring, this summer, super interesting. And then Quinn Ewers reclassified to come this fall to campus, and that made it even more interesting. So they've got 4 quarterbacks competing for the starting job. 2020 4-star CJ Stroud, 2020 4-star Jack Miller, 2021 5-star Kyle McCord, and 2021 5-star Quinn Ewers. Now, what's the over-under of these 4 quarterbacks being on the roster in a year, maybe 2 years? I'd set the over-under at 1.5, and I would take the under if I was a betting man. If one of them's going to win the job, and the other 3 are going to be like, oh, deuces, I'm out. So, CJ Stroud was the first to sub in for Justin Fields last year whenever they were blowing teams out. So there's a strong belief that he's the guy. He's got first crack at becoming the starter. And also, interestingly, he was an Elite 11 MVP, which, once again, I've said in previous videos, doesn't hold a terrible amount of weight, but it's still impressive. He won an elite competition with elite recruits. So then Jack Miller, 4-star recruit. I don't really think he's in the running for the competition, though. I went back, watched their spring game, just kind of been reading up on it. And, in theory, he's in it, but I don't think he's really in it. I think Ryan Day is just saying that to try and keep him around. And honestly, what did Ryan Day tell all these kids that to get them there? That, oh, you're going to be the starter? Yeah, I believe in you. You're going to be the starter. He probably told it to all 4 of them. Like, it's ridiculous how many kids are there trying to win that starting job right now. All right, then 2021 5-star Kyle McCord. He's from St. Joseph's, Pennsylvania. Played with fellow Buckeyes player Marvin Harrison Jr. in high school, so interesting connection. And obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. is the son of Indianapolis Colts great Marvin Harrison. And in the spring game, one play that really stood out to me from him is when McCord threw this beautiful long ball, and it was just absolute beauty right off the bat, start of the game. Kind of reminded me a little bit of how Trevor Lawrence in his first spring game, within the first couple plays, threw a beautiful long ball. So that's the first thing that popped to my mind. I'm not saying that he's going to be as great as Trevor Lawrence, but we'll see. Now, this whole dynamic is completely different than it was in the spring, because Quinn Ewers, #1 recruit, one of the highest recruits in recruiting service history, showed up to campus chasing some NIL money, which, I can't blame him. This might be the highest his value is ever in his life, because look at the top recruits every year for quarterback for the past 10 years, and honestly, tell me how many of them are in the NFL. Unfortunately, not a terrible amount of them. So if this is the highest his value may ever be, go capitalize on it. Go make your money. I know I was hard on him for leaving high school, ditching his team, but sometimes you gotta make financial decisions for your family. So Quinn's interesting as he's highly recruited, highly touted, highly skilled. Personally, I'm not as high on him as others are, just because the past two things that really stick in my mind in terms of his past two competitive environments that he's been in, he's lost to lesser recruits, lost the state championship game and lost the Elite 11. So I'm not saying that he's not great, but he's beatable. So overall, I think the winner of that battle is going to be CJ Stroud. I just think he's got the experience there, and he's still a young kid, unproven, unknown factor, and like I said before, don't be afraid to start the young kid. Now, who would I start? Honestly, if Quinn Ewers is really everything he chalks up to be, go start him. Just always start the most talented kid, in my opinion, at quarterback. Regardless of how long they've been in the system, how well they know the offense. You can teach them the offense as the season progresses. I wouldn't be concerned that this is Quinn's first month on campus. If he's the best quarterback talent-wise, put him out there. I'm sorry, but you're in it to win it, and that's just what Ohio State is. So I would start Quinn if I was Ryan Day, but I think he's going to go with CJ Stroud. But it'll be fascinating to see if they possibly do a multi-quarterback system versus Oregon. That would be quite fascinating because Ryan Day said he wanted to have in his mind who the starting quarterback was going to be in the first 2 weeks of training camp, but Quinn coming changes everything, honestly. When you get one of the top rated recruits in the history of recruiting services and number one player in the country suddenly commits to you, plans change. So both these battles, big impact on the landscape of college football as both teams were in the college football playoffs last year. If you made it this far, let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know who you think's going to win. Appreciate you coming this far. Deuces. Tell somebody you love them today.